This is the Financially Simple Podcast, a show dedicated to destroying the complexities of money for today's small business owner. And now, here's your host, pizza-loving, certified financial planner, Justin Goodbread.
Welcome to Financially Simple. This is a finance show for small business owners about money, how it works in our business and personal lives, and how we can build wealth to be financially independent. I'm your host, Justin Goodbread, and today is episode number 1. In this episode, I'll provide a nice, detailed introduction to who I am and why I'm starting the Financially Simple podcast. So who is Justin Goodbread? Well, if you followed any of my writings on Financially Simple, my blog, you'll know I'm just an old country boy from South Georgia. I grew up in the little small town of Brunswick, Georgia, about halfway between Savannah, Georgia, and Jacksonville, Florida, right on the ocean. And I always say that when I was at home, if I wasn't working, I was running around barefoot chasing alligators. Now, of course, I'm not like a crocodile hunter or anything, but lots of alligators down there, lots of sharks, lots of good things, including nice, smelly air. But it's home. It's where I'm from. I was homeschooled most of my life. My mom and dad saw it best at that particular age to teach us at home, and it had a lot of opportunities, a lot of challenges. So when I finished up high school, I went to Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. I had no desire really to go to college. Being homeschooling, I wanted things done fast and easy. Just tell me what you want me to know, let me learn it, let me move on. And I found that school was a little bit of a drag sometimes to sit there and listen to professors ramble. Lo and behold, I did go and get a degree from Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College out of Tifton, Georgia, in horticulture of all things. Yeah, it was my dream to build like the world's greatest landscape company, to do everything from cutting grass to installing irrigation to designing landscapes, putting in big palm trees, spraying the grass, insecticides, fertilizers, etc. And so I sought a degree in horticulture. My wife came into the picture, Miss Emily. She's the love of my life. She came into the picture, life changed. We decided that we were going to move from my little hometown of Brunswick, Georgia, to the big city of Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where Emily's from, is in Knoxville. And we moved. We sold the business down in Brunswick, Georgia, the landscape business I had, sold it. That was my first business sale ever. I learned a lot during that process. And we sold it, took the cash we had, and came to Tennessee, not really knowing what we were going to do. Lo and behold, some years later, I was recruited by Ameriprise. It used to be American Express Financial Advisors, and they recruited me. Truthfully, the reason why I took their exam was the guy, and a friend of mine named Kevin, he said, Justin, if you can pass these exams, I'll give you $5,000 as a sign-on bonus. I'm like, man, anybody can pass a test, especially for $5,000. So I studied for about 30 days, went and took the 3 tests they had me take, and lo and behold, passed them, got the $5,000. Thought, I'm done with this. I don't want to be in the world of finance. And about a week after that occurred, the local office was closed by corporate. So here I am now with these 3 courses I passed. One's called the Series 7, a Series 66, and a Life Accident Health. I had taken all these tests, passed them, didn't have a clue what I was doing, and kind of liked this information I learned. So I went and joined another independent firm that was more financial planning focused. I knew what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to trade stocks. I've never had the desire to sit down and research out individual companies and try to pick which stock is the best to pick. From my early days of investing, I always viewed it as going to Vegas. The way I describe it to many folk as far as stock picking is it's like having a bunch of bricks laying on a driveway. I remember I'm a landscaper, right? We used to do hardscapes where you had stones or pavers or whatever. And we'd often lay them on top of the concrete wherever we were working so we can see the picture. Imagine having 5,000 or 10,000 bricks, and underneath one of those bricks or 2 of those bricks, there's a mark which says that is the best brick. That's to me the way I look at stocks. It's like you have all these stocks out there and you have all this research and you're trying to pick out which one is the best. I just don't see stock picking as something, and I knew I didn't want to be a stock picker. I also knew I didn't want to be an insurance agent. No offense to the insurance agents. There's a lot of people out there who do that, and there's a lot of people who provide a good service to people, but I didn't want to sell insurance. I'm very, very introverted. You may not think that, but I'm introverted. I can get up in front of people and talk all day long. I can do this. I can talk one-on-one. I can just have a blast. But put me in a mixer somewhere, and I'm like the guy sitting in the corner, right, by myself. So to get out and try to sell insurance, it just wasn't going to make a career for me. So I decided not to do that. What I did instead was pursued the Certified Financial Planner designation. So a CFP is what we call it in the industry, a Certified Financial Planner. And at the time, there were 6, maybe 7 courses you had to take. And it was about a 2-3 hour test at the end of the 6 or 7 courses. Then you would go and sit for a board exam. And the board exam consisted of 3 different tests, 1 on a Friday afternoon and 2 on a Saturday. And it was a pretty extensive test. It was about 12, 16 hours of time slotted there. And they were testing you on your overall competency of finance and how it applies for individuals. So lo and behold, I did pass the CFP exam my very first time back in 2006. Right after I passed that exam, I was told that I had to have a 4-year degree. Now remember, I'm not a big fan of college. I just am not. So what did I do? At this point, I'm married. I'm working as a partner in a firm. I just passed a CFP exam. I had the years in the industry, but no 4-year degree, and I have 1 child and 1 on the way. So I went to University of Phoenix online and got a business degree. Knocked it out. Took me about 1.5 years to get my 4-year bachelorate degree and tucked that one into the drawer. Now let's move on as a CFP. My career has not started off in the traditional sense that I went to a 4-year school, came out of school with a finance degree, and went into some firm somewhere and then moved my way up through the ranks. That's not who I am. I'm a little backwards. Most people think I'm a lot backwards, but I've done it my way. And my way has had lots of value, and I've paid some tuition. Don't get me wrong. And we'll talk about that through my podcast. But I just do things differently. My experience and my knowledge in the business world has offered value. And this is partially why I want to deal with the podcast here. In the last year, I've earned what's called a CEPA, a CEPA, a CEPA designation, and that stands for a Certified Exit Planning Advisor. And what that designation taught me is how to take a business owner who wants to sell their business for a profit, how to prepare that business, and how to transition that business owner through that sale or through that merger or through that buyout, whatever the particular details are, and prepare that business owner for ultimate retirement or prepare them for the next chapter in their life. See, I have personally started and sold 3 businesses to date for a profit. I personally have done this. To my knowledge, and I've been trying to think through this, I probably should go back through all my tax returns, but to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever received a W-2. Maybe one exception for a short period of time I worked at a steakhouse during some of my college, and there may have been a W-2 there. But for the most part, my entire life has been self-employed. I'm 38 years old. I started my first business when I was 15 years old. That means I have 23 years of business experience. Folks, if you can think about it, I have probably dealt with it in business. I have started 5 businesses from scratch. All of them are successful and in the black in revenue. I have sold 3 businesses to date. I have gone through employee issues. I have gone through recessions of the market. I've gone through booms of the markets, whatever the markets are, not necessarily the stock market, but man, I remember back in 2004, 5, and 6 when the housing market was going crazy. I lived through that as an entrepreneur. I have gone through legal battles. Oh, that was probably one of the biggest mistakes. In fact, I write a lot about that legal battle. If I could do anything different in my life, it would better protect me because that was a kick right in the shins. That one hurt. So I've just about dealt with everything you can deal with in business. We've had expansion, we've had contraction, you name it. So that led me to my goal of starting Financially Simple. And Financially Simple is a blog that I've been writing on for years now. And that blog has led me to national press. I currently write for Kiplinger. I currently write for Forbes. My name has appeared in the Wall Street Journal. I've been asked to speak at national conventions talking about business. Why is that? Well, many small business owners I run into, we get so consumed with our business that we forget to work on our business. I have friends, I have clients who run the litany of different business operations, and they're there dealing with the fires that we business owners deal with day in, day out. Once you throw money in the mix, whether it's through some type of position that a CFO would deal with or the CEO would deal with, taxes, inflation, rate of returns, how to budget, how to analyze, as you're going through all this information, it becomes very difficult for business owners to stay focused. I get business. I get it. I understand it. Not many people do. So I wanted to start a series or a company that could make finances simple for business owners.
You are listening to Financially Simple, destroying the complexities of money for today's small business owner.
So who is my audience? Who are we dealing with here? We're dealing with the small business owner. What's that mean? There's a government agency called the Small Business Administration, the SBA. And they're probably the premier on data for small businesses nationally. So they have a cool release that they do every year, and this is the status of the small business world. So I happen to have in my hands, those of you watching on video can see that, the most recent information from 2017. And here's some interesting stats. I'm going to read directly from this SBA pamphlet they provide on an annual basis. The first question is, well, what is a small business? And this one might blow your mind. It did me when I first saw this. A small business is defined as any company which has fewer than 500 employees. 500 employees, that is a lot of folk. To me, that's not a small business, but that's who the audience that we're dealing with here. Small businesses have fewer than 500 employees. How many small businesses are there in the United States? Well, the last time that in-depth research was done was 2014. And in 2014, there were 29.6 million, like million small businesses in the United States. Now, here's where it gets interesting to me. Out of that, 80%, or 23 million of them, have no employees. So these could be your artisan type businesses. Maybe it's a freelance photographer. We use one in our office. Maybe it's a freelance writer. That is technically a small business. So 23.8 or 80% of the small businesses don't have any employees. But there are 20%, which is 5.8 million, which have employees. That's a ton of businesses out there who employ people. There's a lot of business owners, 5.8 million to be exact, as of 2014. And I would suspect that if we ran the data today in 2017, it would be even higher today. I bet we are over 6 million small businesses given the economy and what's transpired recently. So that leaves only about 19,000 large businesses. So these are your Walmarts, your Costco's. I can't name all the different companies off the top of my head, but you get where I'm saying. These are the large businesses. There's only 19,000 of them. So most of the United States is small business or employed by small business. So get this, small businesses, how do they comprise in the economy? Well, they're 99.9% of all firms. 97% of them pay employees. Get this one blew my mind. 287,000 small business owners export. In other words, they move goods and services overseas or across our national borders. There are private sector employees, 58 million. So 50% of the employees in the United States are employed by small businesses. That's amazing to me. 41.1% of the payroll of employees in the United States, those people who are employed by small businesses. So here's another question they ask. What is the small business percentage of net new jobs? So here's your job creators. 61.8% of the new jobs are directly attributed to small business. 61.8. That is amazing to me. Now here's where it gets scary, and this is the heart of why I created this podcast, why I launched my brand Financially Simple. This is the heart of it coming up. What is the new business survival rate? I'm reading directly off the sheet here from the Small Business Association. They say from 2005 to 2015, an average of 78.5 new established businesses survive 1 year. So about 22% don't survive 1 year. About half, it says, survive 5 years or longer. So within the first 5 years, we're losing half of our small businesses. That is sad to me. And here's where it even gets worse. Only 33% of established small businesses survive 10 years or longer. This is why we have to create a roadmap for finances. We'll get into why businesses fail. majority of the time it's finances, it's capital. So you have to know how to deal with money in your business if it's going to be a business which can survive any length of time. Here's an interesting number. How many businesses open and close each year? So in 2014, again, this was the last year the SBA did the study, there were 404,000 startups and 392,000 closures. So almost the same amount of companies which start, close in the same year. A few more statistics here for you so you can kind of get my heart and why I'm really intrigued and why I'm pushing to educate small business owners on finance. Millennials. So millennials get a lot of bad rap, and I work with a ton of millennials, a ton of business owners who start up. And interestingly enough, the SBA shows that self-employment among millennials is falling off rapidly. It says this research shows that the rate of self-employment among individuals aged 15 to 34 have been on the gradual decline since 1990. So there's a number of reasons for that to take place, but it's just interesting that many millennials today are not launching out into entrepreneurship. How about this one? What percentage of firms are family owned? About 1 in 5, almost 20%, it's 19.3 to be exact, are family-owned firms. That's interesting to me. Family business is at the heart of what I do. I'm a family business owner. I own my company myself, and my goal is one day that I can bring in my family into this business. One of my heroes, and you'll hear me use his name frequently, is Zig Ziglar. I think it's interesting now that Zig's children took over the Ziglar enterprise with the Ziglar name and are now marching it forward with even more good content coming out of what Zig Ziglar himself did. How about this one? How are most small businesses legally organized? In other words, what type of entity are they? Are they an LLC, C Corp, S Corp? Well, the majority of them are S corporations. In fact, nearly half of the individuals who start small businesses do so underneath the S corporation status. About 50% of small businesses work from home. I know many successful, I'm talking about making $400,000 net take-home pay, individuals who work from home. In fact, I just attended a wedding this week for where the bride works from home and the bride's father works at home. Now, here's an interesting study, and I did not know this. Only 2.9% of businesses are from franchises. So these are like Domino's, right? By the way, I love pizza. Oh, yeah. Pizza's going to be in heaven. But only 2.9% of businesses are franchises, according to the SBA. Perhaps the most important out of everything I've given you so far on the introductory podcast here is this. How are small businesses financed? You know, there's a lot of studies, and if you're in business for yourself at this point, you probably realize that many businesses fail not because of passion or because of economy. It's because of funding and capitalization. According to the SBA, the most common source of capital to finance business expansion is personal and family savings. In fact, 21.9% of small businesses use personal and business savings. It's followed by business profits. So those of us who say, hey, we're not going to dip into our savings. Instead, we're going to build a business and use the profits of the business to move the business forward. Only 5.7% of businesses use profits from the business to finance it. Fewer and fewer people these days are using bank loans and credit cards. In fact, the number for bank loans is 4.5%. The number for credit cards is 3.3%. Throw all that together. Everything I've just been going through from the SBA, and that leads to the question of what is financially simple and why are we doing this? Guys, I deal with business owners every day. And every day, business owners struggle. We struggle with loneliness. We struggle with direction. We struggle with vision. We struggle with discouragement. Even when we have success, we struggle. I met with one business owner this last week, a client of mine. He said, Justin, I had a home run and I couldn't tell anybody. Because if I tell my family, they don't understand. They feel like I'm bragging. If I tell my friends who are not business owners, they just think I'm this rich business owner who just is trying to get more and more and more money. I have no one to share my success with. Financially Simple is more than just a name to me. It's a way of life. It's a way that we business owners can slow down, take a break, pause from our business, work on ourselves. I don't know about you, but the majority of people that I deal with who are business owners, the number one reason I hear that they went into business, myself included, is for freedom. But yet we laugh and we say, well, I'm the guy who will work 80 hours a week for myself, not to have to go put in 40 hours a week for the man. I've said that myself. But we started our business for freedom. Maybe you started your business for financial gain. Maybe it's to build net worth. You saw another successful business owner out there and you built your business in such a way where you can succeed financially. Whatever the reason, here's a statement that I'll never forget. The cobbler's kids' shoes are never shod. In other words, back in the days when you had cobblers who put soles on shoes, the cobbler was so busy working in his business that he neglected the things which originally caused him to launch his business. Folks, it's time for us to take a break. It's time for us to stand back and say, why do we have our business? It's time for us to take care of ourselves, our family, and our business. So that's why I'm starting Financially Simple. My goal is to make the finance side of business simple, hence the name. My goal is to make money for us business owners not just an object, but a tool that can help us reach our specific goals. So the way I describe it in some of the videos I shoot on our YouTube channel is, life is good. Yeah, it's awesome. Life can be doggone difficult. It can be tough. Our businesses doesn't have to be. We're going to get hit with so many things we don't even expect. We're going to get hit with legal issues. We're going to get hit with competition. We're going to get hit with employee issues. We're going to get hit with family issues. Money should not be the thing that keeps us up at night. So my goal in this podcast is to build a template, to build content that I see day in, day out as a certified financial planner, as a certified exit planning advisor, an entrepreneur who has been in business for 23 years to date. I have made millions. I am worth a nice amount of money because of my entrepreneurial skills. All I want to do is take what I see day in, day out and share it with you. So the way I often describe it is, it's a journey. It's a journey that we're on. We have a destination that we want to achieve out there somewhere, whether it's financial independence, whether it's providing for a family member, whether it's for a dream vacation, whether it's just you just want to be filthy rich. Whatever your goal is in life, you have to take purposeful, methodical steps in order to help you reach your goal. And you can do it. We can reach our goals. There is no doubt in my mind. I know too many people who don't have the skill sets that I have, too many people that don't have the skill sets that you even have, who have reached their status of success. And success is not necessarily millions and millions of dollars in the bank, as some people would define it. Success could be, look, I'm going to work 10 hours a week, and that's it. I'm going to travel the world. Whatever your definition of success, it's not going to happen by accident. You're not going to reach that goal by accident. It's going to take education. It's going to take encouragement. It's going to take fortitude. It's going to take so much that all I want to do is to walk my journey and share it with you. So the way I often say is, let's continue to make our lives at least financially simple. So folks, that'll do it for episode number 1. I look forward to learning from you. I look forward to talking with you. You can connect with me everywhere. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. Check out the blog. You can connect with me a number of different ways. I'm easy to connect with. If you have a particular topic that you would like me to enter into the queue, go ahead, shoot me a message on that. If you have a question that you'd like for me to address, we'll soon be rolling out our VIP club for a particular one-on-one time. If you would like answers to particular questions, please shoot me a message. I'll be happy to work with you on that. So guys, Justin Goodbread, Financially Simple. Let's make it an awesome day today.
You have been listening to the Financially Simple podcast. The information in this show is for informational purposes only. This show is not investment advice. Instead, seek help from a competent financial advisor. Justin Goodbread, CFP, is an investment advisor representative of Heritage Investors, a registered investment advisor.